Hey, what is up, everybody? This is your boy AJTRIP, and welcome to In Game According to Me, a podcast where I talk about what's going on in sports. We're going to cover the NFL, and we're going to cover the bowl games and the national championship game. So go ahead and let's jump right into it. Okay, so let's start back from where we left off, which was last Tuesday, the last game according to me. And let's start with the Birmingham Bowl. Houston versus Auburn. Houston defeated Auburn 17-13. In the First Responders Bowl, Air Force beat Louisville 31-28. The Liberty Bowl, Texas Tech beat Mississippi State 34-7. Texas Tech defeating their old coach Mike Leach. The Guaranteed Rate Bowl, Minnesota beat Virginia 18-6. In the Pinstripe Bowl, Maryland destroyed Virginia Tech 54-10. The Cheez-It Bowl, Clemson beat Iowa State 20-13. The Alamo Bowl, Oklahoma beat Oregon 47-32. The Duke Mayo Bowl, South Carolina beat North Carolina 38-21, with Shane Beamer taking a Mayo bath. That was very interesting. You also get hit in the head with the bucket, so that was something else. Music City Bowl, the Purdue beat Tennessee 48-45. In the Peach Bowl, Michigan State beat Pittsburgh 31-21. Las Vegas Bowl 20-13. Wisconsin beat Arizona State. The Gator Bowl, Wake Forest beat Rutgers 38-10. In the Sun Bowl, Central Michigan beat Washington State 24-21. Cotton Bowl Classic, the first round of the college football playoff, Alabama beat Cincinnati 27-6. It was a blowout, but it wasn't a rout, I guess you could say. It was still good to have them in there. It was still good to have Alabama in Cincinnati, in the playoff. So I think that's good. Georgia beat Michigan in the other finals in the Orange Bowl 34-11, setting up the national championship game. We'll talk about that in a second. The Outback Bowl, Penn State lost to Arkansas 24-10. Then Fiesta Bowl, Notre Dame had a 28-7 lead. Oklahoma State came back to win it 37-35. The Citrus Bowl, Kentucky beat Iowa 20-17. In the Rose Bowl, Ohio State beat Utah, as Utah had a 28-14 lead, but Ohio State came back to win 48-45. The Sugar Bowl, Baylor beat Mississippi 21-7. And tonight we have the Texas Bowl between LSU and Kansas State. That's happening tonight. And then, of course, the finals of the college football playoff, Georgia taking on Alabama next Monday. So here is the thing, and here's the deal. When we got the college football playoff, there were some things that we knew that we were going to have to stop doing, because with the BCS we complained all the time. And then especially when the BCS game happened, that was Alabama versus LSU, we played two SEC teams in the playoffs, right, in the finals. When we got to the playoffs, we realized that this could happen not only with the SEC, but maybe with other conferences as well. And it happened just a few years ago between Alabama and Georgia. Now here we are again with Alabama and Georgia. And it's okay because it's a playoff. So we're okay, we're happy, we're cool, and that's just the way it is. So, these two obviously played in the SEC championship game with Alabama beating Georgia. I think the thing here is that Georgia's defense is going to have to, make Alabama be one-dimensional. Now, Alabama can be one-dimensional, both and still be great. But then do something. What are you going to do? You're going to take away the run, or you're going to take away the pass. And I kind of feel like they should be ready to take away the pass. To be honest with you, I really do think that they should need to take away the pass, because that's how they get beat in the SEC championship game. It's from the passing game of the Heisman Trophy winner. So you take away the pass, and now they got a good running game. They ran the ball great against Cincinnati, did Alabama. But so then what you just do is you take it but you take away the passing game and you make them run the ball. This Georgia's defense should be able, that front four might be able to stop the running game of Alabama. And for Alabama, I think it's the same thing. You got to make sure that Stetson Bennett doesn't beat you. You take away their run game, and you hope that Stetson Bennett can make mistakes, he doesn't play well, and that you take over like that. So it's gonna be an interesting game. It's gonna be interesting to watch. Alabama and Georgia, here we are. All right, let's now get to the NFL. In week 17, there was no Thursday games, so all the games started on Sunday. No Saturday games because of New Year's Day. So let's start off with the Bears. Bears beat the Giants 29-3. The Giants were awful. They just wasn't doing nothing in the passing game. They were down big, and they were just running it, trying to do it. So that was just awful to see. But my Bears beat the Giants 29-3. Patriots blew out the Jaguars 50-10. Excuse me. There were a lot of people talking about that. Once Urban Meyer had been fired, that the Jaguars didn't get a hitch in their giddy up, but it has not happened. They've lost the games ever since that happened. So the Rams slipped by the Ravens 20-19. Some people are talking about Matthew Stafford, and the season not played well this second half of the season, and throwing a lot of picks and a lot of things before pick sixes. So he got to play better and step up a little better. He played so well the first first 3 or 4 games of the season, but he had a hitch up against Arizona, and then he came back and was playing good again. But second half of the season again, it's just not been all that pretty for Matthew Stafford. Buccaneers had to come back against the Jets 28-14, but the big story to come from this game is Antonio Brown walking off the field, taking his jersey off and his undershirt off, and jogging to the locker room. So it's just a real bad story, and I don't know what's going on there. Listen, I'm all about finding out some medical issues and things like that, and mental health and taking care of yourself. But to me, I just don't know if this is a medical issue. I think Antonio Brown is just a selfish son of a bitch, and there's nothing really else you can say, right? That's just what he is. He just thinks all about himself. He's a narcissist. And if the attention isn't about him, and everything isn't about him, then he doesn't he can't take it. So I think that's just how it is. This is not on my thoughts. Buffalo Bills beat the Falcons 29-15. The Bengals beat the Chiefs 34-31 in a fantastic game where Joe Burrow over the last 2 games has thrown for 971 yards and several touchdowns. So it was incredible. The Titans whipped on the Dolphins 34-3. The Raiders beat the Colts 23-20. Eagles came back to beat Washington 27-16. Chargers beat the Broncos 34-13. 49ers beat the Texans 23-7. The Seahawks beat the Lions 51-something. It has here TBD. Who the fuck is TBD? You knew who the fuck they played. They were just damn Lions. I just don't get that. I really don't. Cardinals beat the Cowboys 25-22. Saints beat the Panthers 18-10. The Vikings lost to the Packers on Sunday Night Football 37-10. And last night, Monday Night Football, Steelers, Big Ben Roethlisberger, probably last game in Heinz Field, beat the Browns 26-14. Baker Mayfield was awful. It's getting bad there in Cleveland with Baker Mayfield. So as we look ahead to Week 18, here are the games we're gonna have. We have some Saturday games. We have the first one on Saturday, the Chiefs and Broncos. The second one in the evening will be the Cowboys and the Eagles. Then we got the Sunday games. We got Washington at the Giants. We got the Bengals at the Browns. Steelers are at the Ravens. The Packers are at the Lions. Colts are at the Jaguars. The Bears are at the Vikings. Titans at the Texans. Saints at the Falcons. Seahawks at the Cardinals. Jets at the Bills. Panthers at the Buccaneers. The Patriots are at the Dolphins. The 49ers at the Rams. And on Sunday Night Football, the win in your end game, the Chargers against the Raiders. So, we talk about that. Let's take a look at the playoff scenarios. So, the Packers have clinched the NFC's top seed for a second consecutive season. And their next meaningful game will be a division round matchup to be determined on the weekend of January 22nd and 23rd. The Packers' victory also allowed the Eagles to clinch a playoff spot, capping a run which Philadelphia has won 6 or 7 games. Who had Nick Sirianni as the first rookie coach this season to lock up a trip to the playoffs? The Chiefs' loss to the Bengals means that the AFC #1 seed will have at least 5 defeats, and we tied for the most AFC top teams since the NFL seeding process in 1975. The Bengals won the AFC North for the first time since 2015. So the Bengals can clinch the #1 seed in Week 18 with win over the Browns and losses by the Titans, Chiefs, and Patriots, or a Bills win plus losses by the Titans and Chiefs. The Titans have clinched the playoff spot and they're the #1 seed. The Titans can clinch the top seed with a win at Houston and losses by the Chiefs, the Bengals, and Patriots, or losses by Chiefs and Bengals combined with the win by the Bills. The Colts can clinch the playoff spot with a win at the Jaguars and losses by Ravens and Chargers, or or losses by the Chargers and Steelers and a Dolphins win. So the Bills have a clinched the playoff spot. I don't say here that it looks like that they can move up. So they just have to beat to keep that spot though, to win the division. They have to just beat the Jets. The Patriots will win the division if they win against the Dolphins and the Bills lose to the Jets. To clinch home field advantage, believe it or not, the Patriots still have a chance to clinch home field advantage. They would have to beat the Dolphins and have the Bills, Titans, and Chiefs all lose. So the Chargers, like we just talked about, the Chargers and Raiders are the winning end situation. Whoever wins that game will be in the playoff. And that's the easiest one. The Saints can clinch a playoff spot with a win at the 49ers, or a win at the Falcons, and a loss by the 49ers. The 49ers can do it. They can clinch the playoff spot by a win at the Rams or a loss by the Saints. So the Rams were not able to clinch the NFC West on Sunday, thanks to the Cardinals' win. However, they can do it in Week 18 with a win over the 49ers or a Cardinals loss. The Cardinals can clinch the NFC West with a win over the Seahawks and a Rams loss, but Arizona cannot get the #1 seed. So all this week, the Vikings, the Washington football team, the Falcons, the Broncos, the Dolphins, and Browns, they were all eliminated with losses this week. The Steelers can still get in. They'll need a lot of help. They'll need to win at Baltimore in Week 18 while getting a loss from the Colts. And because tiebreakers are very funky, they would also need the Chargers Raiders games to not end in a tie. It does not matter who wins. It just can't end in a tie. Despite losing 5 consecutive games, the Ravens are still not out of it. To get into the playoffs, they would need to beat the Steelers in Week 18 and get losses from the Colts, the Browns, the Chargers, and the Dolphins. So a lot of scenarios there for teams making it into the playoffs. It's going to be an interesting Week 18, the first of its kind. 2 games on Saturday, many more on Sunday. A lot of football to watch. Even though this is like one of the times when, it's the last regular season football game. We're just a few weeks away from football actually ending and going away. For the most part, or at least the NFL. There's going to be some spring football coming this year. I've seen several commercials for the USFL coming back, so I'll be taking a look at that. But so much football, but I love it. 2 games on Saturday. We're going to get 5 games on Sunday. 2 games at 1 o'clock on CBS and Fox, and then 2 games at the 4:30 time slot for CBS again, and then of course the 8:15 Sunday night football game. So all should be fun. All gonna have a blast. Cannot wait. Let's see who makes it into the playoffs. That'll be it for this episode of the Game According to Me. We'll be back next week previewing the NFL playoffs and going over what happened in Week 18. Also, we'll be talking about the national championship game as well between Georgia and Alabama. And next Tuesday is my birthday, so I may have a thought or two on that. Turning 40. Yeesh. Alright, y'all. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you feel the need to say, hey, this is good, and you want to help support the boy, please go to anchor.fm/AJTRIP show and go there. You can do that by you can report me there by going to subscribing to the podcast for 99 cents, $4.99, or even $9.99. You can also go to patreon.com/AJTRIP, become a patron. Once you hit a certain amount of patrons, you will determine what you can see on my YouTube channel, what I'll be talking about on my podcast, my other new podcast, which is starting off on next Monday, January 10th as well. So make sure you are there for that. You can check all of my socials and find out when that's going to be and where that's going to be at. And it should be in a lot of places. So please make sure you go ahead and check that out as well. Or you don't have the monetary income to support me, you can do it just by rating my podcast and sharing my podcast and sending it out around saying, hey, I like this dude. You should listen to it. So all of that is good fun. So yes, please do all of that. I appreciate anything that you do. I appreciate you listening. Thank you guys so much for listening. This is your boy AJTRIP signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. And I am out.